It's 8:30. Good morning, I'm Jessica Rouse with Hunter News. The controversial public-private plan for the new Maitland Hospital has been scrapped, with the state government deciding to go down a different path. They've announced a not-for-profit plan which will be put in place like the one at the Calvary Mater Hospital. The plan would put a not-for-profit organisation in charge of both building and running the new hospital out of their own pockets, on top of the $450 million promised by the state government in this year's budget. Shadow Education Minister Tanya Plibersek joined federal member for Newcastle Sharon Clayton at the University of Newcastle for a roundtable discussion against the government's proposed changes to university enabling programs. The University of Newcastle is the largest and oldest provider of the programs, such as Open Foundation, and around 20% of current students entered their degree through an enabling program. Deputy Opposition Leader Tanya Plibersek says the government's plans to charge students around $3,000 for a program which is now free is short-sighted.
It's absolutely typical for the Liberal government to be handing out tax cuts to millionaires and tax cuts to big business and a new fee for uni students who've had a tough time, who are now trying to turn their lives around, actually slugging them with thousands of dollars worth of fees.
Civil construction works associated with the Newcastle 500 and Newcastle City Council's own renewal works have begun in several locations across the eastern end of Newcastle. From tomorrow, Watt Street traffic will be diverted between Scott Street and Church Street. The diversion will allow the planned works to be completed. Events manager for the Newcastle 500, Kurt Saksky, says there's two components to the works taking place across Newcastle East.
There's the preparation of the roads for the Newcastle 500 street race, but also there's a lot of council renewal works that have been done at the same time.
Premier Gladys Berejiklian addressed some of Newcastle's businessmen and women about the state government's budget and just how it will affect them yesterday. She told leaders her government isn't sitting around doing nothing. They're doing so much for the region, and every time the Premier visits, she says she's filled with hope, optimism and excitement for the region. Premier Berejiklian also put to rest recent arguments from Labor MPs the government couldn't afford the light rail project. She says it is all in fact within budget. The Hunter Business Chamber have endorsed Infrastructure Australia's decision to recognise the Hunter Valley Freight Rail Corridor as one of 7 across Australia which needs protecting. Recognition of the corridor's importance was made in a recent report by Infrastructure Australia, urging governments to take action to preserve vital transport corridors in the long term. Chamber CEO Bob Hawes says there would be enormous benefits stretching out of the Hunter region as well as within it.
The benefit for freight up and down the eastern seaboard of New South Wales in that context could be enormous. So there's a whole lot of benefits that could accrue from it, and the first step is to get this corridor identified so that at least we've got it on plans and one day we may be able to construct it.
Sport for our sponsor, PRD Nationwide East Maitland.
Knights Queensland Origin star Dane Gagai will be aiming to hold out dual blue strike weapons Jarryd Hayne and Brett Morris once again tonight in the decider. Gagai and centre Will Chambers kept the Star New South Wales pair quiet in Game 2 to help Queensland to force the series to go to a decider. Still on the Knights, and coach Nathan Brown has thrown his confidence behind embattled playmaker Brock Lamb, naming him in the side to face the Broncos on the weekend. Lamb missed an opportunity to take the Knights to Golden Point with the Bulldogs on the weekend after he missed a penalty after the siren with a shanking kick. Brown says the young half played well on the weekend despite the last minute, and he and the other youngsters would learn from the experience.
Brock's long kicking game was a big part in what got us into the contest and helped us sort of dominate the second half of the game. So, it's about getting it right for longer periods, and all of our younger players at the moment are obviously doing far better than last year, but we need to do a little better if you want to get the right result at the NRL level.
And Western will finish the NPL season with a little South American flavour, signing Argentinian midfielder Ignacio Gimpaolo for the remainder of the year. He joins the cellar dwellers from the US after trying out for MLS side LA Galaxy, but will not play with the Bears until an international clearance comes through. Coach Steve Piggott says he's hopeful it will be before Saturday's clash with the Jets youth. And the winning numbers in Oz Lotto are 30, 40, 37, 39, 36, 4 and 22, and the supplementaries are 35 and 14. 2NURFM news time is 25 to 9.